Hi, Brad Berg with Encompass Purpose here. We're back today. We've talked about how we goofed up, and we started talking about how to move forward from here. One big thing is, and this is multi-generational, limiting beliefs. And you don't have to have limiting beliefs. You can always aim for the best case scenario and have the attitude everything is possible. Does that mean everything's going to happen perfectly for you? No. But usually the biggest person holding somebody back is yourself. And so many people act like helpless victims, and unconscious control of what they're doing with their companies and organizations or lives, they don't realize they have control and power. God's given us incredible power and strength to carry out his plan. And every detail is already laid out. Now, all you have to do is move forward and stop building the mountains in front of yourself. Most of the time, a lot of our problems, a lot of our limiting beliefs, it's all due to ourselves. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. We're right now in the midst of a big election. But no matter if it's Trump that wins or Biden that wins, most of the problems you have day to day are still going to be your fault. They're not going to have anything to do with politics. It's kind of a way right now with the election, we distract ourselves and try to blame our problems on somebody else, where we can create the world we want to live in. But it's easier to make excuses why not to do that. You're accountable, and you have a lot of power. Empowerment of your organization, your career, your life. It starts with the choice to take responsibility and accountability. You have a choice in everything you do, and that makes your life what it is. In 2020, we can get offended by anything. And someone says to you, take offense, get angry. That's your choice if you do it or not. Is it really worth it? I mean, I see huge arguments break out, the silliest thing, politics, or, a car brand. Somebody saying one's better than the other. Well, that's wonderful, but who cares? They're a car brand. It has nothing to do with you. There's all kinds of things you can get worked up about, but if you really stay focused on the important things, it makes life so much easier. You take away the negative, and you take away the negative intentions, and you realize you do not know today where that person's at that you're talking to. You don't know what's happened to them. And no one else in the world is responsible for your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors, your actions, or your responses. That's totally up to you. And if you start with these little things, it encompasses into bigger things and encompasses your entire life. So if you're responsible for your emotional well-being and you act a certain way because until that point that's all you know, well, there's a lot easier ways to do it. You're incredible, and you're capable of modifying your behavior to your circumstances. And you can change your behavior. You can change your circumstances, your responses, your outcomes, how you feel about any situation. It's very powerful. And no matter where you are right now, internally or externally, you can really change very quickly. So now if we could, let's even break it down farther. You can master your priorities. What you give and what you receive are directly related to each other. If you start listening, do listening to listen, not to respond. Give your best answer possible, but you don't have to have a preconceived idea of what you're going to say or what you're going to hear for that matter. Listen to listen. Listening's a skill. And the more you listen, the more knowledge you'll receive. And when you're talking to people, you'll learn about them. You won't be consumed by the responses or distractions of how to respond of the outside world. Just really listen. No fact finding, just listening and trying to understand what the person is communicating. Now, this sounds very simple, but most people do not do this. As normal human beings, we're judgmental, and not just for other humans, but towards many things. We live in a society for instant gratification, and if you don't get what we want right away, it's no good. And I struggle with this myself. I'm very driven, and I want everything right now. It's a very immature view to do, and if you have some patience and let things evolve and expose themselves for what they are, it takes patience, but you'll find your initial assessment or judgment could be inaccurate. And I challenge you to try something with the judging and listening. Empower others, and you'll see how it changes your view. Empower them. Don't impose your personal views just because you don't believe it to be true, or doesn't mean it's not. Maybe it's just a partial truth. But taking your personal view out and just trying to listen and learn and grow from new insights, not being self-righteous. High standards are good, but quick judgments or opinions, that's bad. And, it's one of the things that we've done going back to our previous episodes with Generation X and Generation Y. We jumped to conclusions about them, and including myself. And then through research, I found out, for one, what I thought about them generations weren't even true. And now we have to get to a point where we're collaborating with them, and it's not a bad thing. It's going to work out really well for everybody involved. It's just a different thing. So until next time, I appreciate you listening, and we're going to be having some great guests coming up. I'll be announcing that at the beginning of the next show. Thank you. Bye-bye.